Gaining phase week 16, monthly update number 4. So this week's weekly average weight is 76.24 kilos, which puts me at a monthly weight gain of 1.13 kilos, which means I'm 130 grams above my monthly weight gain target. So I'll discuss the changes I'm going to make to my diet based upon that in the next section. Weekly average steps this week have been 10,777. Training adherence has been 100%, and there's been no sleep, stress, hunger, or fatigue issues this week. Good morning. So weekly check-in number 16 and monthly update number 4 of my gaining phase. I'm a little bit annoyed with myself this month. I've hit the target rate of weight gain, but slightly over. So my target rate of weight gain monthly is a kilo, and I'm 1.13 kilos. And what I'm kicking myself about is the first 2 weeks I was gaining a little bit under. And then the third week I actually didn't really gain anything, and then over the last week I'd made an adjustment in my calories halfway through the month, and then on last Saturday I made another adjustment on my calories again. Weight shot up this week, went up way too quickly by about Thursday, Friday, and I realised I probably overcooked it a little bit. So, which is one of the difficult things about when you're coaching yourself, because there's a lot of emotion involved with it. You don't want to. When I'm coaching other people, I can remove the emotional attachment out of it. I can see when a client's not lost weight, we just need to either hold on for another day or two, we just need to drop 50 calories, or if a client's not gaining weight at the right time, I'll be like, look, just hold on, let's try this, let's do this, rather than making an adjustment, because making a calorie adjustment should be one of the last things you always do. So I did it too early, and I made probably too big of a jump. So I went from 3,000 to 3,100 calories, and I went from 3,100 to 3,250 calories. And then the 3,250, I could feel like I was definitely putting some weight on. And then, just had like a couple of too high readings really towards the end of this week. And then obviously the monthly average has been above the target, but it's not the end of the world. Like, look, I'm still fairly lean. That's why I always recommend doing the fat loss phase first, then having this long period to do a muscle gaining phase. I definitely still think I'm probably 12 to 14% body fat, probably more 13 to 14% now. Looking at the pictures, which is good. Like, I mean, again, when you do a gaining phase, if you're doing it naturally, half of it's going to be muscle and half of it's going to be fat. Well, let's say there's going to be a third that's glycogen, water, and then the rest is going to be a split between muscle and fat, and that's just unfortunately how it is. So don't be afraid of gaining some fat when you are doing a gaining phase, but I can definitely tell if by month 4 I'm still at 12 to 14% body fat. Obviously I've probably got down to about 8 or 9. I think I'm going to be gaining for a long time, which I'm looking forward to, because I've never really properly committed and done a long bulk gaining phase like this. So I'm really, really excited to see where I'm going to be at in, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And I'm just going to keep going until I get to 20% body fat or around there. I've never been at 20%. Oh, have I? So after my second bodybuilding show, I did obviously gain the 12 kilos in 2 weeks. But again, a lot of it was water retention, just like looking at me. I think the heaviest I've ever been is about 83 kilos. So it'll be interesting to see what I can get up to. But again, it's not the scale weight number that I'm chasing. It's more the body fat percentage. Like 20% is the upper limit of where I'd want to go to. So, but we've got a few things coming up which might change the rate of progress a little bit. So I'm in Thailand for 2 weeks in September, which I'm really, really looking forward to. In terms of tracking out there, I probably won't be tracking my nutrition. I'm at a wedding, so it'll be a little bit difficult for a few days. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of drinking as well, so likelihood training is probably not going to be on as well. So I'm just looking ahead, but I'm enjoying the gaining phase. I really am. It's just giving me something to work towards as well, which I'm enjoying, and I'm enjoying it in the gym. Like, I'm seeing really, really good improvements. Like, obviously the last few years I've been doing CrossFit, and then probably in March of this year I moved back into more like just regular gym work, just doing full body sessions, and I've just been loving it. Just really, really been enjoying getting back into the progressions and just training how my clients would do. And just because obviously I did it for years, and then I enjoyed the CrossFit, the competitive side of things, and now I kind of just back into wanting to do the gym work again, just going through like the progressive overload stage, and I'm just really enjoying it at the moment. And I definitely say that to anybody who might be watching this now, who's struggling with having something to work towards a little bit, by doing the weight loss phases and gaining phases and maintenance and tracking, it gives you something to work towards. And then with the gym, having a program, knowing the progressions you're aiming for, it just gives you a bit more purpose with your training. And I'd say this is the most I've ever really enjoyed my training and dieting, if I'm honest, ever. So yeah, if you are struggling with that, with the motivation or with having something to work towards, then I would definitely think about trying to sign up to a something where you are going to be doing like a gaining phase, a cutting phase, a maintenance phase, and learning how to do all that, because it'll just give you some purpose and enjoyment around training again. So anyway, back to my monthly check-in. So obviously I gained 130 grams, so 0.13 kilo over my target rate of weight. So I've brought calories back down slightly. I'm going to go to 3,100. See how we go with 3,100. Protein still set at 160 grams. I could potentially, well, actually, I don't know off the top of my head now. I'd want to set protein around 2.35 grams per kilo in body weight. So I reckon it's probably still about that, maybe just a bit short. But again, it doesn't have to be as high when you are in a gaining phase, because obviously you are in a calorie surplus. So it's not like when you're dieting. So yeah, not too worried about that. Over the last month, sleep has improved massively. I wasn't sleeping good at all for 2 months, which, especially when you're like doing a bulk or a gaining phase, like you need to have sleep on point, because you need to be recovering. That's, one of the most important parts of terms of when you're actually, growing, when you're recovering. So the fact that sleep's back on now and I'm sleeping well again, I'm very happy with. Training's been good. Stress has been a bit high, just with obviously the business and a few other things as well. Just like a lot of people coming in, which is really good. So definitely not complaining and just getting things into place. So, but again, that's absolutely fine. Fatigue over the last 2 months has been high, and I do think that's been due to sleep as well. But training is really tough at the moment as well. Like, I'm enjoying it, but I'm definitely needing a day to recover between some of the sessions. Like the first 2 sessions of the week aren't too bad, because I really enjoy doing the full body style of training. But one of the issues is, if you do the full body style of training, is that to try train 2 days on the bounce, sometimes you are a bit sore from the day before, which is fine. So that's why I'm thinking about potentially maybe switching something up a little bit, and maybe having like an upper lower or push pull or something like that at the start of the week, but then keeping 2 full body sessions. But we'll roll with it for now. I'm enjoying it. I'm making very good progress on it. So, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So what I thought we'd do today is I'm going to show you what I actually do for the monthly check-in. So, because when you are doing a gaining phase or a bulk, weekly check-ins are important to make sure you're being obviously accountable and you're sticking to the targets and stuff. But when you actually see the true rate of progress is on the monthly basis. That's what you should be looking at, your monthly weight gain target. Weekly weight gain target, because it's so small numbers, it's not really going to make too much of a difference. Like, I do set a weekly weight gain target, so obviously I'm wanting to gain a kilo a month, so mine's 0.25 kilos per month that I'm looking at gaining on a weekly basis, So, but again, if you look at this month, I kind of, the first 2 weeks didn't gain much, and then weeks 3 and 4 it shot up. So that is why you kind of need to judge that progress on the monthly basis, not the weekly basis. All right, so I'll finish this coffee and then we'll go through and I'll run through the stuff for the monthly check-in. Okay, so monthly check-in, I check in exactly the same way as my clients do. So every week they'll complete the check-in form, but then every 4 weeks they'll upload photos and measurements as well. So in terms of measurements, we do certain sites on the body. So let me just load these up again. So we do the chest, right arm, left arm, 3 inch above the navel, 3 inch below the navel, hips, right thigh and left thigh. And we do those all in centimeters, so we track those changes. Again, in terms of monthly, I wouldn't personally say to do the measurements every week, because you're not going to see massive changes from week to week. I think every 4 weeks is better, which is why I do it then, and then obviously track that with the photos as well. In terms of the centimeter measurements, you're going to typically, when you're doing a fat loss phase, see a lot of it depends upon what body fat percentage you are at first. If you're above 20%, you're going to see drops everywhere. Once you start getting below 20%, that's where you're going to start to see different changes in terms of you'll start to lose some from the stomach, then it might be some from the chest and other areas. But I'd say above 20%, globally, you're going to be losing all of the measurements pretty much. And then once you start getting sub 20% into certain areas, it's going to be a bit more local in certain areas where people tend to hold fat in different areas. Now, when we're looking at the gaining side of things, it's very, very difficult to judge actual muscle gain a lot of the time. Even if you are seeing like your right arm, even if you are seeing like your arms or your legs or your chest or wherever, places where you on your legs where you would want to put muscle on, it could also potentially be a little bit of fat as well. So I wouldn't get too caught up, especially when doing the gaining phase, looking at the centimeter measurements. Again, the main ones I'm probably keeping an eye on more than anything is the stomach measurements, just to make sure that they're not going up crazy on a month-by-month basis, so that I can understand that, look, it's probably not increases in body fat. In terms of body fat, so I compare it to photos. So I've done this obviously for a long time now. So when I was at university, we actually did a bit of an experiment where we used a electric monitor, I've forgotten what it's called now, where it was tagged to certain sites on the body, where you lying on the ground. That took your body fat percentage. We did the calipers, and that was done by a ISAK professional, and then we did the a DEXA scan. What was really interesting with the body fat is that the electrode ones and the ISAK both had me coming out at the time at around 6 or 7% body fat, but then the DEXA, which is obviously more accurate than those methods, had me coming out at 11%. So that's almost a 50% discrepancy. So body fat is a very there's a lot of room for error with it. Even more recently, over the last couple of years, they've been saying with DEXA scans that there's room for error as well. So I always just judge body fat percentage from photos. Now, if you look online, there's lots and lots of really good sites now where it's showing people who are at, 6 to 8% body fat, 10 to 12% body fat, and so on and so on. I never give a specific number for body fat percentage because it's always difficult to say as well. It'll always be with a range, but I'll be able to look, give my judgment, and then I'll cross-reference it to the pictures, and there's certain sites on things on the body as well I'll look for to determine what body fat percentage is. So that's what I do every 4 weeks with the normal check-in. So within the normal check-in, the other information I take, and this is things that for yourself I'd also track if you're not working with a coach. This one is the most important one, and this one is something that I'll track forever for the rest of my life, and I think that everybody should be doing so anyway, and it's your weekly average weight. Because one of the most common things I see why people end up gaining weight once they've finished a diet or something is because they stop weighing themselves. So they stop weighing themselves, they don't want to see the number on the scales, they jump on in 3 months' time and they're up 5 kilos. If you keep taking your weekly average weight and you're not tracking your nutrition intake anymore, it's very easy for you to just consciously think to yourself or say to yourself, okay, over the next week, I'm just going to skip breakfast a couple of times, cut down on snacking and just try and bring my weight back down. And it's better to just be on it and making sure that you're assessing rather than all of a sudden 3 months later you jump down, 3 months later down the line you jump on the scales and you're up a few kilos. So weekly average weight is one I'd always definitely recommend taking. The other one I also recommend taking as well is step count. So I do weekly average steps. Look, I know for most people getting to 10,000 steps is going to be difficult, but the research time and time again shows that once people are getting above that 8,500, and I think it's once you start hitting like 9,200, there's just a big uptick in terms of long-term health benefits. So they often tend to find that it decreases mortality for people who are taking more steps and getting above that 10,000. So for me, just tracking my weekly average steps, yes, it's going to aid in fat loss a little bit when I am obviously doing, a fat loss phase, but more importantly for me, it's just having that peace of mind of knowing that, right, okay, I'm doing something that's going to benefit me forever. It makes sure I'm getting out, doing some exercise. I could just sit here at my laptop and work all day. So it just gives me something to focus on as well. The other things, and I talk about these in my weekly check-ins a little bit anyway as well, is I'll always rate my sleep, stress, fatigue, lethargy, and hunger levels as well. But obviously hunger shouldn't be too much of an issue a month or two into a gaining phase. At the start, it might be due to the bigger influx of highly palatable foods, which are going to make you want to eat more. But after that first month, it kind of should settle down a little bit. And then other things I'll do as well is I will plan. So I'll it's gone off anyway, but I'll plan my gym sessions in my calendar for the week ahead now. So I'll look, obviously today's Saturday, so I'm going to look ahead for the following week, plan my gym sessions in so they're in, and I'll also make any notes about if I've got any meals out or any things that I need to make allowances for with my calories. For instance, this evening, it was my mum's birthday a couple of days ago, so we're going out for a meal tonight. So I've had my breakfast. I'm probably just going to skip lunch. I'm going to look at the menu after this check-in, decide on what I'm going to have, put it into the nutrition tracker and see how many calories, protein I've got left for the day. I probably might sacrifice protein today, if I'm honest with you, which is something I spoke about in one of my educational videos, the nutritional hierarchy for fat loss. Again, when we're in a gaining phase, I don't think I've not hit my protein target once for weeks, months now. I know that if I was to just sacrifice hitting my protein target today, that would allow me to not go over my calories, which when I'm doing a gaining phase probably is one of the more important things because I'm already in a calorie surplus. Training is the main stimulus for building muscle mass. I'm usually a little bit slightly above my protein target. I'm already going for about 2.35 grams of protein intake anyway, which could be down to 1.8 now I'm in a gaining phase. One day where I don't hit my protein target and instead decide to not just go over the calories is going to be far, far more important. All right, so hopefully that video has helped you today. So I've gone through my monthly update and changes that I'm going to make to obviously my diet over this next month. So I'll check in and let you know how that's gone. I've gone through my weekly and monthly check-in process and what I think most people should be measuring as well. If you've got any questions about my check-ins, my gaining phase or anything like that, please feel free to leave them in the comments or just shoot me a DM on Instagram.